Josh?
Disappointing. Obviously disappointing to get knocked out of the Open Cup. This was a competition we wanted to progress in, but I think physically we looked fatigued. It was sloppy from the get-go, and that was concerning. So the second half we started right, hungry, aggressive, the way that you would expect in an elimination competition, and I thought that part of it was quite good. The start, the push, got to reward ourselves with the goal. I think we're knocking on the door, and when it doesn't come, it just affects us. But we got to obviously regroup and continue to recover. The games do take a toll. We'll have to see where guys are at coming out of this one to get ready for a big game against in the Copa Tejas against Houston on Saturday. So we know we got a big game in state rival, and we got to get fresh and get ready for that game quickly.
Zach?
It seems like you mentioned sloppy, it seems like there were a lot of turnovers, not very crisp passing. What do you attribute that to? Tired legs? Is it catching up to you? Or, what's what?
It'd be hard not to say that it can be some of that. Obviously, we try to do our best to get them recovered and, the right amount of time on the field and the right amount of time recovering. But there's no avoiding what that looked like in the first 20 minutes. The first 5 minutes I thought was okay. And then it looked leggy. It looked, just a bit of sloppiness from a lot of guys, and it almost becomes contagious. But it's an elimination game, competition, competing, battling, dueling is a big part of it. And again, I think that was the combination that I saw that was probably most concerning. Just looking a little bit labored and physically, slow. But the start of the second half was much better. The guys gave good energy. I thought Sofian came in and gave us a little bit of pop. We got to see what's up with Leo. That's concerning to see him have a little bit of something there at the end of the half. So, but the introduction of some players and also spirit and just attitude in the second half goes a long way. And then in those moments we got to reward ourselves. I think that's the quick reality. Disappointing. I think we're all disappointed to be knocked out. But we got to again get moving forward, get recovered quickly because the game will come again shortly on Saturday.
And then after the first goal, there was some words exchanged between Johan and Julio. Could you sense any, especially in the first half, frustration on the field from the team?
Yeah, I mean the goal is both goals are set pieces. So I mean there's some concern there. It's I think he's a big Leo was with him on the first one. It's a little bit of how you can compete, make contact, and make that challenging. The second one is the second phase that there's more than enough time, more than enough people. They have one guy in the penalty box. We have 8. So it's disappointing from that standpoint, but I think frustration. When the team or you as an individual aren't performing well, you got to stay resolute and keep competing. I think Johan struggled mightily in the first half. Possession, dueling, things that are usually pretty good for him were not, and there were too many of those instances. It took Amy a while to get going as well. So fatigue, frustration, based around individual performances, but again, we gotta move on. Obviously, it's disappointing for the guys, but move forward and we gotta get ready for Houston.
Colby.
Chicago's in. What did they do effectively?
Well, they came out in a 5-4-1, so they obviously are sitting a little bit lower. They're 1-for-1 around the back line, making it challenging. I don't think it's things that we haven't. It's not something that we haven't seen here at Q2. That wasn't the expectation of what they've done. They haven't done that all year, so. That obviously has a little bit of an effect of now what the guys are feeling they're going to walk into, but we just played against a team that had a back 5, so it's still about speed of circulation, it's still about creating advantages on the outside. I think the second half, the start of it was much better. It was much cleaner, much more bright. The quality on the ball, the ideas were crisp, but any team that sits as low 5-4-1 is going to have its challenges, but you got to find ways to get around the edge. You need good service from the half spaces, numbers in the box. Some shots from distance to also help pull the opponent out, but the goal gives them momentum, the goal gives them belief and certainly energy, and then it becomes a little bit more challenging. But we're going to see that again. It's not uncommon to see a back five here at Q2, so we got to find better solutions and obviously have a little more quality in the areas that we need.
Yeah, so Diego and Sofian got some of their longest runouts in a while. Just kind of thoughts on Diego progressing and then what you're seeing from Sofian as he continues to develop and learn the system.
Yeah, I think Sofian is a good positional player. He's a good. He brings more offense than certainly Johan Valencia brings. I think his passing is good. He's just got good understanding of spacing and positioning to help now attack a back line or attack some wide areas. So that was the idea with Sofian. I mean, he got good minutes the other day. So for him, it's it's about continuing to improve and also to maximize the opportunity, which I thought he did a solid job tonight. Diego, that's some good minutes for him as well. He's going to need to get more minutes going forward for sure. I think it's for him it's about same thing. When you come in, how can you take those minutes and turn them into opportunities, performance, and now validate more minutes in the future.
Okay, and then with Leo, is it like a day-to-day thing, or is there more
I don't know.
impetus to get Rado signed beyond June 30th?
I don't know. We got to see. There'll be an MRI. That'll be one to watch. We got to get that done straight away tomorrow morning. Rado, I thought, came in and did relatively well. Good aggressive center back, as you can see. So we'll have to see how Leo is.
There was a rumor that Giussi might see the bench tonight, but he didn't dress out.
Yeah.
How close is he to getting back?
He's getting close, right? And there's return to play protocol. He wants to get in there. He was in the office a couple times this week trying to inch his way into it. There are tests that we do for all players. Julio, Diego, anyone that's coming back from a little bit of a muscular injury. All three have had groin injuries, so there's a protocol to get back to. The last thing we can do is have him, pushing to get in. He comes back too early and he's back to a 4-week, 6-week injury. But he's been in training. He's close. Maybe hopeful for Saturday. But the return to play protocol tests that we have, he's close. He's not quite there. And some of that's built around strength. Some of it's built around speed. Just some of the benchmarks that he needs to hit to be in a spot where we feel totally comfortable with him playing more than 10 minutes. So.
And one more late game. I think some fans are going to wonder when we're chasing the game, why bring on Lima instead of Arruti? Can you help us understand that?
It's more service related. I think we are crossing the ball. At the end, we were trying to get actually Julio to move up. And I think Maxi isn't somebody that's in the box heading a ton of balls. That's not his strength. But I think they were extremely low at that point. And as we started to get some crossing in there, I think we moved Alex up to a different spot to try to get him on the end of things. That's certainly an area that he has good quality. So you could have Diego, and Alex arriving, and Nicky gives us a little bit more of certainly the service. Johnny was leggy as well. I didn't think we were quite as clean with it out on the outsides. So it was more about getting service, but also obviously getting some opportunities in and around the edge of the box.
Coach, your opinion on how the game was officiated tonight? The crowd seemed very upset,
Yeah.
and at times the players got really upset with the head ref. Any opinion on that?
No opinion.
And then a second one that I have for you.
That's surprising. Why do I usually have an opinion?
Sure, not sit out.
Yeah, Chance. Alex Chilwitz. You guys know Alex? Good ref.
You won the possession battle tonight, 58% to 42%. Going forward, how do you bring more meaningfulness to the possessions that you have?
Yeah, I think it's again having I think there's the balance of how you want to get around an opponent, getting to inline more often, even having some more combinations in and around the box to get behind the line. I think that was lacking. Shots from distance will also ask questions for the opposition to come out. I think it's there's a few things. I think it's speed of play, obviously trying to create advantages numerically. They're going to have good numbers, on one side of the field. How quickly can you get off that side to the other side to attack an edge, create a 3v2, a 4v3 on that weak side? Or how can you combine centrally now to have some action? I think we utilized G a couple times where we had some tight little combinations that were close, but you got to explore a few different areas. Service from half spaces, again, on recirculation, as you saw early in the second half, started to create some opportunities, or at least a threat of first contact in the box, but also second contact. It generated throw-ins and corner kicks. So, and obviously the players in those areas, how can they maximize some of those half chances and turn them into good chances? Again, their goal is a corner kick that's played and floated. It's nothing earth-shattering, but it doesn't take anything earth-shattering. When you get the goal, it gives you belief, momentum, and certainly puts the onus on us to now go break down even a more compact team.
Two more questions. Go ahead, guys.
You mentioned the start of the second half as kind of when you guys kind of started picking it up. Are there any other silver linings you can take into Houston on Saturday?
Silver linings, I think that the start was strong. The start of the game was okay, and then we kind of lost our way shortly thereafter with some of the carelessness and sloppiness. But the second half start was strong. Energy, intensity, combativeness, the dueling. Those are, you talk about regular season games. In a competition game, it's imperative. And it picked up in the second half. It was disappointing that it took the second half to get it going. Obviously, we can give them a little bit more picture as to what was working in the first half and the things that we could utilize in the second half, and they brought those to life. So I think that's a positive. And it's in that 15-20 minute stretch where you have them under pressure, it's always going to come down to taking that opportunity. If we grab one, it gives us more momentum and energy and certainly a good feel about it. The goal didn't come, thus it became a little bit labored at the end. But the silver lining is we reacted and responded well in the second half, but it's got to be there from the start. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of the second half, before the second half started, I saw you pulled aside Ethan and Diego. Just wondering what y'all talked about, strategy or what was going on there?
Yeah, just we talked about a few things at halftime in the locker room with guys just to make sure they knew, if it was 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes that they were coming in, that they were buttoned up on responsibilities and what we were looking to achieve when we came out in the second half, and just to be watching obviously closely as to how that looks, so that when they got in there, they could be ready and prepared to execute it.
And I know you spoke about Diego needing to get more minutes. What are you hoping to see in these next couple matches for him to break that start line?
Yeah, good performances. For him, it's just performances. Back to getting Diego back into a space where we've known him for a couple of years. He's got to get fit, stronger, find ways to contribute. His passing, his service, but also be goal threatening. And he's been out for 4 or 5 weeks, so it takes time. And Rodney, Emmy, Ethan have done a good job of late, and there's competition there. But as he gets his legs under him, and these are good minutes for him, hopefully he'll see some significant minutes against Houston. But as with any player, performances dictate minutes, and obviously good performances give you confidence, and that's hopefully something that we can build off of.
Yeah, just real quick, any words that you and Frank had after the game?
No, just standard gracious handshakes and hugs, and wish him well in the future in the Open Cup, and obviously the rest of the season.
Cool. Thanks everyone. Thanks Coach. You guys can follow Emily Alvarado.